Oh, what happened? I saw this horrible guy.
There were a lot of massacres in the 1980s. Massacres at slumber parties, sorority houses, hospitals, motels. Hell, there was even a microwave massacre. In this review, we are going to take a look at the Roger Corman-produced Sorority House Massacre from 1986. I've already reviewed parts 2 and 3 and thought it was time we checked out the original film in the franchise.
Some studies show that brainwaves can be transmitted and received like light and sound waves.
Really? The actual brainwave?
Yeah, they did this really neat experiment where they took a mother cat and separated her from her kittens by hundreds of miles. Then, when they killed the kittens...
They killed the kittens?
The mother cat cried at the exact moment that each kitten died. She knew what was happening by brainwave. Now admit it, that's amazing.
Beth is the sole survivor of a murder spree that took place when she was a child. Her brother went crazy and killed her entire family. 10 years later, Beth moves into a sorority house, but due to PTSD, she doesn't realize the house is the same one the murders took place in. She begins having nightmares and hallucinations she can't explain. It turns out Beth and her psychotic brother share brainwaves, and the brother breaks out of the mental institution and returns to the family home to finish what he started.
Hey, what are you doing there?
The first time I reviewed Sorority House Massacre years ago for my website, I was pretty harsh on it. I basically called it an uninspired Halloween clone that also ripped off A Nightmare on Elm Street. Now, I still feel this movie's cliched and pretty damn unoriginal, but after watching it a second time, I did find some things I liked about it, and I actually enjoyed it this go-around. The acting was a lot better than I remembered, and the knife kills were surprisingly impactful. The film also packs a lot of 80s cheese, like the montage where the girls are trying on clothes and dancing to jazz pop. There's also some pretty fun and creative special effects. A lot of things seem to bleed in this movie. Pictures bleed, candles bleed, mirrors bleed. There's no outright gory deaths in the movie, but the knife kills are well done, as I mentioned before. There's a somewhat disturbing kill where the killer stabs a topless chick in the chest and just stares at her exposed breasts while she's dying. The film doesn't skimp on the exploitation either. It features shower nudity, a TP sex scene, and a bunch of topless sorority sisters.
Uses foreshadowing and repetition to recreate these feelings in the reader.
The slasher subgenre in general can often be repetitive and cliched. I asked my lady friend recently if she wanted to watch a Friday the 13th movie, and she responded with, "No, not really, they're just the same movie over and over." After debating whether to break up with her or not, I agreed, but commented there is comfort in familiarity. But in the case of Sorority House Massacre, it's a little too familiar. The film's plot is obviously copy and pasted from John Carpenter's Halloween, even stealing entire scenes from that movie, like the classic classroom scene where the final girl sees a vision of the killer outside, or how the movie rips off the ghost kids from A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Where are you going? In there.
In the house?
Yes.
Be careful.
The film's narrative is nothing new and it comes off as lazy. The director Carol Frank was actually an assistant director on Slumber Party Massacre, which is another film the movie somewhat borrows from. It's also weird when a killer doesn't wear a mask in slasher movies. Luckily the dude that plays the killer does have a creepy look about him, so it works in this case. The killer somehow manages to have superhuman abilities besides the brainwave stuff. He teleports around the house and can take an inhuman amount of abuse. The killer's escape from the hospital has to be the second easiest breakout in slasher movie history. The first place spot is still held by the slasher from The Last Slumber Party. Sorority House Massacre was produced by an uncredited Roger Corman. It's a cheap slasher cash-in that was fairly popular VHS rental, thanks in large part to the iconic and classic VHS box art. It spawned 2 sequels, and the sequels got more cheesy and exploitive with each installment. Sorority House Massacre is a slasher flick that tends to drag. It runs a mere 74 minutes, but feels longer. It takes too long for the murders to start, and too much time is wasted on supernatural dream sequences and jump scares. It's an average slasher that's routine but watchable.
Why is it dirty?
That's blood.
Or dirt. That's right. That's dried blood.
Oh, yuck.
Beth, do you know what this means? I know what it means. It means you guys put on one hell of a show. Maybe we should try it on the whole house at Halloween.